Let's dive into a powerful story that's going to make you ask a really big question. Is your biggest obstacle in life a lack of skill, or is it a lack of ambition? It's all about this teacher who was convinced his students' real problem wasn't trigonometry, it was the small size of their dreams.
All right, so picture this. Our story kicks off in this trigonometry class that's been a total mess. And the new teacher, Mr. Griffin, he doesn't start with formulas or theorems. Nope, he just hands every student a single sheet of paper with this one question on it. A question that, has absolutely nothing to do with math.
And just so you get the picture, this was not your average high school class. The regular teacher had a stroke at the start of the year, and after this revolving door of substitutes, pretty much everyone dropped out. Only 4 seniors were left, just trying to hang on and get through the semester when Mr. Griffin walks in.
So when he asks them about their goals for the class, their answers were, well, pretty much what you'd expect, right? Darnell wants to actually learn trig. Christy's aiming for that A, and Jared, he just needs to pass to graduate. All totally practical, reasonable goals, but they're not exactly going to set the world on fire, are they?
And Mr. Griffin's reaction to these perfectly fine goals? He just drops this bomb on them. And that sentence just hangs in the air. Right away, you can feel this huge gap between what this teacher expects and what his students have, settled for.
So who is this guy, really? Well, this is where we start to see what makes Mr. Griffin so different. Turns out his goal for this class is way, way bigger than anything these students could have possibly imagined.
He actually pulls out his own note card and reads his goal out loud. And get this, it has pretty much nothing to do with math. He wants to give them tools for life. Emotional, physical, financial success. He kind of tacks on mastering the curriculum at the end, almost like an afterthought. You can imagine the students are just completely baffled. And then he just blows their minds again by pushing them to think way beyond the classroom walls. He's challenging their whole perspective. His point is really clear. What's the point of a tiny goal for one class if it's not connected to some grand vision for your whole life?
Okay, so to really see how this all plays out, the story zooms in on one student in particular. Her name is Christy Mendez. She's a high achiever, but she's just recently given up on her biggest dream.
See, Christy's real passion wasn't trigonometry. Not even close. It was swimming. Her dream, her big goal was to lead her team to win the state championship. But that dream felt totally impossible after her coach, who she adored, was tragically killed by a drunk driver right before the school year started.
And if that wasn't bad enough, the school's athletic director then took the swim team's budget and gave it to the football team. So now they have no real coach and 0 resources. In Christy's own words, they were just hopeless.
But Mr. Griffin, he doesn't offer sympathy. Instead, he looks her in the eye and hits her with his direct challenge. He's basically saying the goal isn't impossible because of her circumstances, it's impossible because she settled for believing it was. Oof.
And boom, that's it. That's the core idea he's trying to get across. And he sums it all up with this amazing quote from the former president of Liberia. He's trying to get Christy to aim for something that feels just a little bit impossible.
So you might be wondering, how do you actually pull someone out of that kind of hopelessness and get them back into the game? Well, for Mr. Griffin, it all starts by reconnecting with the reason why the goal mattered so much in the first place.
Mr. Griffin doesn't just talk theory, he gets right to it. He has Christy stand up in front of everyone, close her eyes, and he walks her through this intense visualization. It's the final relay. She's behind. Her arms are on fire, but she digs deeper, pushes harder, and in her mind, she touches the wall first. She wins by a single fingertip.
But here's the kicker, the part that changes everything. The vision isn't just about winning a medal. It's anchored to this incredibly powerful emotional why. She imagines herself climbing into the stands, finding her late coach's 9-year-old daughter, and handing her the trophy. That is the emotional anchor that just flips a switch inside her.
Okay, so having a powerful vision is an amazing start, but how do you actually make it real? This is where Mr. Griffin introduces a super simple, practical tool to turn that feeling into a concrete plan. He calls it an outcome card. And the genius of this thing is how simple it is. It's literally just a note card. But its purpose is to take a big, fuzzy dream and boil it down into a focused plan that you can look at every single day. And the card itself couldn't be easier. It's got just 3 parts. First up, your goal. And it has to be super specific. Second, you gotta have a hard deadline. And third, and this is the most important part, the exact action steps you're gonna take to make it happen.
So for Christy, the very first action step is a big one. Find an amazing coach. But there's a huge roadblock. The team has no coach, and more importantly, they have zero budget to hire one. It feels like she's right back at impossible again.
So what are the odds of getting a world-class coach to volunteer? Mr. Griffin kind of throws out a number, maybe 10%. But here's the thing. The lesson isn't about the low odds. The real lesson is that success means being willing to hear no 9 times just so you can get to that one life-changing yes.
So with this whole new mindset, they create another, more focused outcome card. And just look at how the goal changes. It's not a vague find a coach anymore. It's specific actions. Research top coaches, create a list of 20, and my favorite part, reconnect with the vision before every single call. See? That's how you turn an impossible dream into a manageable project.
So what are the big takeaways for you and me from all this? First, define a vision that scares you, just a little bit. Then, you have to connect that goal to an emotional why that really truly moves you. Use a simple tool like an outcome card to make a real plan and break that huge goal down into small steps. And finally, you can't be afraid to hear no. It's just part of the journey to getting that yes.
And that really brings us to the end. It's a fantastic story for sure, but its real power comes when you actually apply these ideas. So I'll leave you with this final thought. If you were to sit down and write your own outcome card right now, what big dream would you put on it?